How's the first half of camp going for your group?
It's going well. I think I'm just like any other offensive line coach in the nation right now. You're just wishing you had a little bit more depth. But right now, kids are doing well, working hard. Technique's coming, and a lot of new faces. We're fortunate enough to get those guys over the summer, but we still have about 2 or 3 that are catching up. So a lot of work to do.
How do you feel like Tank has grown from spring to now?
Tank has grown a bunch, man. He's really working hard. He's putting time into his technique. Love what he's doing. He's become a leader. I'm not real big on the vocal part. Guys talking all the time, but he's really leading by example. I'm really happy with the way he's progressed since spring.
Sorry to cut you off.
You're
How is
good.
the synergy with Van Wells and Shador coming along?
Good. They work well together and communicate a lot. And I know Shador, with the system that he came in with, had a lot of say in the protections and some things like that. It's a little bit different. The offensive line takes a little bit more of the protection amongst themselves, and a lot of stuff's built in. So just the communication there, that we're going to be okay up front. We're going to make the right calls and the right checks. Takes a little bit off Shador. So his system's working well, and Bam's doing a great job. He's having a real good fall camp.
Coach, we've heard Coach Prime say on a couple occasions, if we can protect number 2, we're going to be pretty good. I know we still have a few weeks left, but where's your confidence level in protecting number 2?
You've heard it a couple times. I've heard it since spring. So worry about my job every day with that deal, buddy. So no, it's going okay. Our defense is very aggressive, a lot of pressure. Fortunately, we're seeing a lot of the same things that a little bit of the structure that TCU is going to run. So that helps in the overlap, and we'll start moving into a little bit more TCU stuff next week. But the protection part is it's being able to communicate together and being on the same page. And even when you're wrong, if everybody's on the same page, you're going to come out okay. It's those miscommunications where guys don't see things, they don't communicate on who's working out, who's working in, things like that. But it's been going well so far to this camp. And again, seeing our defense is preparing us for everything.
You're excited to get Jack here in the spring when he first committed. I mean, what impact has he had so far, just kind of helping other guys, and especially in the interior, kind of learn things and pick things up?
Between Jack and Savion, having run the system for the past 4 years, and really Jack 5, it really helps. The communication part and being able to relay the calls. We go so fast, there's not a lot of room for a lot of offensive line calls. So everything we run pretty much has to fit everything we can see, because we're not going to make a lot of checks up front, things like that. And, we're going to play fast. And Jack brings a different element because he knows the system, just like Savion. And Jack brings a certain sort of toughness that we don't have. He is a very physical kid. He takes a lot of pride in never getting beat. And he's just a grinder, man. I'm extremely happy with having him here. Both those guys, and like I said before, I think all these guys are embracing what we're doing, and the tempo part is coming. We're getting faster every day, and that means a lot. But it helps to have the guys in there making the right calls.
At this stage of camp, are you at least tentatively set on a first 5, or are you still taking a hard look at different combos?
And I remind these guys every day that every day your job's on the line, so you got to produce. So right now, I think there's a good group that I'm counting on, maybe 6, possibly 7, and we're just going to let it play from there. So I'm all about competition and individual, in practice. So everything I do in individual, I want these guys competing against each other, because it's going to be that way in the game. It's going to be a way in team, in practice, in life. So I want them competing. So right now we're really trying to develop that 2 depth is what I'm really concentrating on right now.
How do you like the group of running backs you guys have blocked for? It seems like there's a lot of diversity there, big guys, small guys, fast guys.
That was a big question coming in, and Coach Flea's done a phenomenal job, and Coach Tommy's done an unbelievable job too. But those guys are running hard, man. I mean, we're happy with that group right now, and again, that's out of my realm a little bit. I don't have a say in that, which I shouldn't. I got enough things to worry about up front. But from what I've seen from the running back group, it's a mixture of speed and power. And another thing, and you brought up protections, they are doing an unbelievable job of protecting, because it isn't just those 5 guys up front in protections, and even our tight ends in our protections are doing a great job. So all those guys are getting coached well, and they know the system. So it's coming together.
Landon Bees, a guy who's played all over the line at the college level. How valuable is that for him, and where is he fitting in for you?
Bies is, right now he's more of an interior for us. He was an all-conference Missouri Valley tackle, which says a lot, if you know anything about the linemen from that league. So, he can do it all. And the thing Landon brings is a maturity, and, he's a confidence. He's an extreme competitor. He's done a really great job this fall camp. I'm extremely happy with him, and he's pushing. He's going to see a lot of time, so I'm happy with where he's at. I know it's a one fall semester shot for him and Reggie Young, so we're hoping to get the most out of those two.
Coach, during the spring, there was a big message about buy-in, right? And it seems like, since you've had to get even a new round of a lot more players in here this fall, how have you seen maybe this entire team assimilate together?
It's a day-by-day deal, on buying in and learning the system, feeling comfortable, and when playing fast. That every day, in my eyes, from our group up front, is I see those guys playing faster. The ball's getting down quicker. The calls are getting out faster. So buying in, you either have to or you're out, man. And that's the way it should be. So as far as the offensive line unit and what we've done with those guys, they have bought in. Those guys are early for everything. They don't miss anything. Because it isn't just about on the field with those guys to me. I want them doing everything right. I don't even want to hear a peep about them in a classroom deal or anything else. Because normally those guys you don't have to worry about off the field are your best players. So that's the kind of kids that we want to surround this program with.
How close is Tyler Brown to being fully up to speed? And how much would that change the competition up there when he is?
It hurts us not having Tyler. I know the NCAA deal is going on right now, whether he's going to be eligible or not. I can't take reps from a number 2 right now or a number 3, counting on a guy that we don't know if he's going to be there or not. So, I know he's gone through some mono and some other things right now. So, we're just trying to get him healthy, man. And I want him back in the worst way, because I know what he brings to this whole group up front. But first things first, man. We got to get him healthy. And we got to get him back where we know where he's going to be, And if he's not eligible this fall, he can practice, and he will learn. He'll get better. Either way, he's going to get better out of this situation.
We've seen practice get a little chippy this week at times, and it seems like some of you guys have been at the forefront of that and just protecting some of the other offensive players. Is that something you like to see out of your players?
Yeah, a lot more. So, those guys, we go the way the offensive line goes. So they need to flip things. I don't know if you watched the Jets the other night in the little speech their head guy gave on their offensive line. He hit it right on the head, man. You go where they're going to go. And I played that several times for offensive linemen up front. They know how this thing's going to get flipped, and it starts with us. So, yeah, I want them competing.
With your tackles, just with both Tank and Savion, do you really feel good about where those guys are at right now? And do you feel like you've got a pair of tackles that you can compete with?
Yeah, I, with those guys, and it's just like with any position, there's always something they can get better at. So one thing our guys will not get is complacent. So I want them constantly getting better. I know Savion's has some things we've really got to work on with him, and I know Tank is the same way. And they both embrace that, and that's a good thing about these guys. They're looking forward to what can I do better, And I might be negative in film all the time, and I let them know that. But I'm gonna pick them apart. I want them to know you're gonna get better every day, and that's what we have to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.